Hey, everybody. How y'all doing this evening? Listen, y'all know that this is day 330 something. I have gone live every single day for over 300 days, almost a complete year straight. I've gone live every day. And it's about 11:47 p.m. where I am here in Maryland. And I had to get on here before the time ended. Let me tell y'all what my delay was before I even introduced myself. So one of my very good girlfriends reached out to me and she was like, Tanisha, you're so good at decluttering. Decluttering is actually part of the 75-day challenge that I have. The people that have joined my 75-day challenge, decluttering is one of the top things. And so she was like, can you help me declutter? Now, I'm going to tell y'all what, when I have people decluttering, you are decluttering not just your room, you're decluttering all the drawers, your mind, your coat closets, your email addresses, your emails, your friends on social media. I have you declutter every aspect that you can't even imagine. Declutter business ideas, just declutter it all. Well, anyway, one of my great friends was like, T, I need your help. I need you to help me declutter. Hey, welcome, y'all. Welcome. She was like, I need you to help me declutter. And so I have been on a Zoom call with her from 6 p.m. until 11 right before I got on here. So almost 6 hours we were on that one call and we got through all of her room. And, certain people have attachments to things a lot differently than others. And so while I was helping her declutter, it was a matter of the dresses that she needed to let go of. And she kept putting them up to her. And I was like, is that going to help you? Is it going to take you where you're going? Like the direction you're heading in? Is that a sexy mom dress? Is that something you would wear on a date when you start dating again? Is that who you want to be? Like, it was me reminding her of who she was creating herself to become. And so these are the type of things that happen when you're decluttering. So I've been on the phone with her and we got through one room and the laundry closet or the linen closet. And now there are still several other rooms to go through. And so we're going to make our way through them. But that's why I'm on here now. So hey y'all. I am Tanisha. Oh, so welcome. It's me, Tanisha. Oh, and I am the creator of the Forgiveness Lifestyle Movement. I absolutely love what I get to do. I'm a forgiveness coach. I get to support women with breaking through, with finding their blind spots, with moving on and pushing through the pain in order to come out on the other side. I'm a corporate trainer and a keynote speaker, an international speaker. As a matter of fact, I've traveled to 4 continents spreading this beautiful message. I am the author of the best-selling book, Empowered Stepmother. Absolutely love what I get to do. And so if there's any way that I can support you, reach me at forgivenesslifestyle.com or shoot me a DM. Tonight, y'all, I want to talk to you really quickly about something that means so much to me. And it is about us forgiving our fathers, forgiving your father and accepting an apology that may never come. It hasn't come. It may not come. In my case, it won't come because he passed away a couple years ago. And I have a lot to say on this topic. Now, I'm only going to dabble in this conversation if you have not joined the masterclass that is taking place tomorrow. Tomorrow is on forgiving your father. That's tomorrow's class. Well, we will take a deep dive into that conversation. If you haven't joined, join. Still $17 to join that 4-part master series: forgiving your father, forgiving the ex, forgiving your spouse, and forgiving your boss. So forgiving the men who hurt you. This is a series for women. So forgiving the men who hurt you. Anyway, you can DM me or the link is in my bio on both Facebook and Instagram. It's in there. But here's the deal. So my father, I never knew was my real father. I grew up with the assumption that this other man was my dad. I didn't know that my biological father was actually alive. The man that I was told was my father died when I was 2 years old. So I always grew up thinking that my father passed away. But at 24, my mother told me, that this guy was my father, this other gentleman. And so I went on a quest. I called him and yeah, I'm your dad, all that stuff. But something inside of me, I wanted that DNA test. Y'all ever been in a place where you want that acceptance to know that you know? Because I had already been lied to for so many years. Like, I wanted to make sure that the person that she said was my dad, like, this was real. So I went ahead and did a DNA test and it was confirmed he was my dad. I did that DNA test literally about 8 months before he passed away. And I never got to meet my father. Now, my father did obviously meet me when I was a little girl, but I don't remember that. Obviously, I was like an infant, right? My mother kept in contact with him. She sent him pictures of me and things of that nature, but I don't remember him. I don't have any pictures with him. He was never at any of my school events. I don't know much about him until right before he passed away, when I was able to find him and all of that good stuff. And I want to tell y'all something. Watching my father and the pain and the anger and the resentment that he held towards my family, towards his family, not even my family because I wasn't there, right? It taught me something. And so for any of you who are in a place where you have a father and maybe your father was there and maybe he wasn't there, there are still so many lessons that can be learned. So in my father's last days, as he was dying, he was still so angry and he was so bitter and there was so much pain that he still refused to acknowledge that pain. Like he still refused to have that conversation. And actually, he wasn't speaking to any of my siblings. So my mother has her children and then my father has his children also, right? And so he didn't want his children to know, his biological children to know that I was conversing with him. And so he was like, you better not tell him, how to find me. And I'm thinking, here you are dying, and the last thing you could do is maybe just pick up the phone to call a child to say I love you, or say something kind. And if that's not in their heart, what can you do? And so now that my father is gone, I took that time. It was a confusing time. This was a couple years ago when he first passed away, but I took that time to really process what was taking place. But I also saw myself in him. There was so much about him that was so detached and so far removed. And without knowing it, because obviously I hadn't grown up around him, I was detached and I was quite removed from my children, not because I wanted to, but I was just, my mother was emotionally unavailable. And my father wasn't there. And so I didn't get a huge dose of emotion or how to express emotion or how to feel and how to love from emotion. I knew love theoretically, and I knew love as far as, here, let me give you something, let me offer you something, but I didn't know love on a deeper level, right? And so with that being said, I got to learn by watching my father before he passed away. And once he passed away, and I saw how much anger and how much pain and just resentment and bitterness that he had. And I was like, that's what I won't give that to my kids. And if my current actions remain the same, and that is the outcome that I'm going to have, where I die lonely and no one's by my side in the hospital. This man was so angry that he literally cleaned out his entire apartment. Y'all hear me? He cleaned his entire apartment out, gave away all of the family heirlooms, gave away everything, and then went to the hospital to die because he refused to want any of his siblings or anyone else to have any of the things that they wanted, that they cherished from his parents, my grandparents. Can you imagine that level of pain? And so, with all these things, like when you look at a story, when someone is hurting that badly, how can I hold resentment or a grudge? He was in pain. He was hurting. He was hurting. And so I can't expect him to give me more of him than he had available to give me. He didn't have it. He gave me everything that he could. He did the best that he knew how, even though it caused pain, it caused abandonment issues, it caused trauma. He still did the best he knew how. And so I got to make a decision when my father passed away, and then realizing that I only have one parent left, which was my mother, and my mother was the person who actually lied to me about who my father was. I still had to make a very conscious and aware and a very present decision on forgiveness, because I knew that if I didn't forgive and I didn't heal and I did not walk into this pain, y'all know what pain is, and nobody ever wants to walk into the pain. But the only way to heal is to walk into the pain. The only way to get an infection out of your body is to go into surgery. You have to go into the pain and take it out. You have to go in there and make a conscious decision to forgive. And so that's exactly what I did. I learned and grew through and shifted and cried and felt every emotion that I needed to feel in order to take my time and give myself the grace that I needed in order to grow. Because I also knew something very important. If I did not figure out how to forgive my father, it was going to be impossible for me to be a healthy parent to my children as it related to the way that they relate to their father. I knew that it was going to be impossible for me to have a healthy relationship with my husband and honor him as a man and as a father in our home had I not forgiven my father, because I would never understand how he relates to our children. I would never understand a father's love on a deeper level. I can only understand, you can only understand forgiveness and healing and growth to the depth that you've already endured it or gone through it. So if you find yourself in this moment in your life stuck, you're in pain, you don't know how to move through any of these situations, and you're just like, this hurts, but where do I go from here? And what if he never says I'm sorry? And how do I move on? You don't know my pain. You don't know what he did to me. I don't need to know what your father did. We all know pain. We all know rejection. We all know abandonment. We all know fear. And we all get to make a choice as to whether or not we're going to forgive and grow through it anyway. I'm going to say this to you, whoever is listening, your mother and your father, in all of their dysfunction and in all of the confusion and in all of the pain that they may have caused you or your siblings, they did the very best that they knew how in that moment. They knew that they did the best they knew how. It doesn't mean that it didn't hurt, and it doesn't mean that you deserved it, and it doesn't mean that you're not still hurting from it now. It just means that they did the best that they knew how. And so the same grace and the same forgiveness and the same understanding that you're hoping for and you're praying for from your children, for all of the failures that you've given them, or from your boss, or from your spouse, or from the people that you will encounter, the same grace that you are requesting of them, that's the grace that you want to go ahead and give to your parents. So listen, y'all, I'm gonna say it again. If you have not already registered for the Forgiving the Men Who Hurt You masterclass that starts tomorrow, you want to go ahead and register for that for now. All right, y'all. You can reach me at forgivenesslifestyle.com. DM me. Links are in the bio for you guys to grab this thing. I'm going to see y'all soon. I love y'all. I love y'all. Ciao.